We're gonna look at a very strong position that is mostly exists in no gi, which is gonna be a dart choke. And we're gonna be inspired by what we were doing last week by using our ribs on a person's face, except this time we're gonna go straight into an attack. And also like for Hewitt and German, like it was happening a little bit to you guys where, like I'm gonna discuss in a second, where his arm ended up like this, right? From side control, and then now the north-south was a little bit difficult to hit, right? So I'm gonna talk about that as well. So Eric, can I grab you? So very often when we're in a knee cut position, okay, we have a decision to make. Once we're in a knee cut, when my knee's on the floor and I have an underhook, the decision here is whether I'm gonna go for a crossface. This is probably gonna be one of the best decisions to make, and it's gonna guarantee a pin because I have a control over his head and arm, right? But the issue is after I hit my knee cut with this head and arm, this arm is gonna still stay a frame in my hip, right? So that's the issue. So I'm gonna get my pass, but he's gonna keep his frame. Another option, which is going to be really strong, is going to be to get a double under. Okay, this is going to be really, really strong, but this, now my route is mostly going to be towards the mount, all right, from my double unders. But I can have almost like the best of both worlds, where I can have an underhook and an overhook. The benefit of this is that once I do pass, he's not going to have a frame. One issue is that his head is free, all right, so it's a give and take, there's pluses and minuses, right? But a lot of times when I have this arm and I hit my knee cut, I can pull it up and I can bring my knee right underneath his shoulder, and now I have a really, really strong control over his arm. From here, this is really strong for me because again, he doesn't have that near frame to escape. Once we're here, guys, I still have my underhook. Even if he has this frame in place, which he probably will, I'm gonna take this arm and I'm gonna bring it over his neck, and I'm gonna grab inside of my own hamstring just like this, okay? As soon as I grab inside my own hamstring, I'm gonna look to circle all the way to the opposite side. But for Eric not to follow me, I have to use my right hand to block his hips. Okay, now I'm going to go on my toes, and as I go into my toes, watch, I'm going to circle all the way to the other side, and I'm going to actively pull Eric towards me. When we're here, guys, I'm going to make sure that my knee is very close to his head, and I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to put it close to his belly. If Eric traps my ankle here with his legs, this is even better for me, all right? So it's like I'm giving him half guard, but I'll gladly take it because it's gonna ensure that Eric stays on his side. From here, Eric's posture is already broken. If they're extending their head away from you, you have two options. Come back a step. Option number one is place your ear on their shoulder to make it a little bit harder for them to extend away. Option number two, if their head is if they're taller than you, their head is gonna be here. If they're really strong, you can always use a gable grip to curl them in a little bit more. From here, I'm gonna take my tricep, bring it to the back of his head, grab my bicep, and I'm gonna grab behind Eric's shoulder. To finish him, I'm gonna bring my elbows up, elbows come close to my body, I puff my chest, I do a little squeeze, and it's a really devastating dart choke, okay? And guys, feel free to walk around in case you have any questions. So what I was saying to Hewitt is what we were working on last week is just from side control. What we were working, the person has frames, okay, and we were switching our hand 1 and 2, and we were using our ribs on their face, taking this arm away, and then we were going for our north-south choke, all right? Some people weren't here last week, but we spent a lot of time on it. But what was happening with Hewitt and German, which is gonna happen, all right, is this arm, sometimes their frame is a little bit off. They making a mistake, Hewitt, of as I'm doing this, they make the mistake of letting the arm fall here. So if their arm falls there, where's Hewitt? Right here. If the arm falls there, do the same exact move. Come up a little bit, grab inside your own thigh, circle, actively pull them, and then switch your legs, and now you're in that same darts that we're doing today. So if last week you're doing with that position and the person's arm ends up on top instead of below, you have that same dart choke that I just showed a second ago, okay? But let's hit it one more time. So let's say we're in a knee cut. Let's say I was able to get into a knee cut on my training partner. I was able to get an underhook and I was able to get an overhook. This is a very common position, right? We finished with the knee cut, and it's very important, guys, to lift their shoulder off the floor and bring your knee right underneath their arm, like this, all right? So now, it's gonna be very difficult for them to get that arm back. You see that? Everything is nice and snug. From here, Sagnik, I'm gonna go over the top, and I'm gonna grab inside my own hamstring, okay? Eric, try to free your arm. Should be pretty hard, all right? Probably is gonna be pushing me with this arm, which is not gonna be that big of an issue. From here, I'm gonna circle, put my hand on the floor, lift my toes up, and as I run around, I'm gonna put Eric onto his side. Again, from here, a few things that can happen is his head can go away from me like this, or even he's able to put his shoulders on the floor, all right? So for that reason, I'm gonna do one of two things or both. Head and gable grip. Eric, put your shoulders down. Eric, bring your head away. He finds both of those very hard, and now I can cinch in my rear naked choke grip, grab the top of his back, the top of his shoulder, elbows come up, elbows come in, I puff and I squeeze, and I'm able to get a pretty good tap. Guys, a lot of times when we're training these positions, people complain, oh, I feel it in my spine, I feel it. Guys, it's a choke, it's always gonna be classified as a choke. You are putting pressure on the person's spine, so I recommend be gentle. You don't have to squeeze for dear life every rep. You can squeeze once, and the next 5 reps, you can take it easy, and then you can always double check your work and say, hey, I'm gonna finish this one. Tell your training partner you're gonna finish that one, and then squeeze a little bit harder. But I don't recommend squeezing and wrenching on your training partner's neck every single rep. Guys, also, the issue is that sometimes when we teach this position, when Eric is doing it on me, he has this arm already. Like, remember guys, I'm not gonna be dead here, all right? Unless Eric really smashes me, all right? So when Eric goes around me, he goes around the guillotine, he grabs inside his own hamstring. Hamstring with this one. One second. Yeah, hamstring, beautiful. When he runs around me, like I'm fighting. I'm trying, exactly. So it's actually gonna be easier for him to put me onto my side. If I'm just like laying like this, it's gonna be awkward for him to put me to the side. But remember, I'm just gonna try to bridge. I'm gonna try to move. And as I'm moving, it's gonna be a little bit easier for him to actually put me into his finishing position. So this is one of those things that if the person doesn't resist, it actually makes this position look a little bit harder. So the person on bottom, give a little movement, don't escape, but make it realistic, make it how it's gonna look in a live roll, and it's gonna be better for both of you. Cool?